Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Errmal's World. It's been a while, I know, and there's been a lot that's been built, but I'm not here to show you that today. Today I want to talk about timers. There's a lot of redstone contraptions, a lot of farm contraptions that you would like to have go off just every so often. You don't want to have to sit there and hit a button. But some timers just take too long, some are not long enough. So I just want to talk about the variety of different types of timers, and so that maybe along the way you'll find something to say, yeah, that's the timer that I want to use. All right, so again, we're in Java, which is still sort of new for me, no longer in Bedrock. But I think most of these timers will still work, even if you are in Bedrock. Let me go ahead and fly over to one. There's your plain vanilla sort of timers. There's the timer that uses a repeater. If you turn this up more, then there's more time delay. But this is for very short delays. You know, things that you want one tick, couple ticks, 3 ticks, 4 ticks. This isn't necessarily for your major farms. Well, you might use these in your major farms for a variety of different reasons. Here you can see I have a clock over here that just goes around in circles using these delays of 4 ticks each. And then finally, let's watch it. Oh, yep. This is a moss farm. It's going to try to push new stone blocks into there, breaking up the moss. You've seen those sorts of farms. Those and comparators and even daylight sensors, those are the ones that Minecraft provides for you. But there's more than that. There's a lot more than that, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about another clock that I'm using. Sure, this contraption, this clock, repeater clock, is handling how fast the stone blocks are made. Okay, and that's important, that's awesome. But what's managing how often the bone meal is pushed into the blocks? What does that, huh? Anybody know? This clock. Yep, a chicken clock. A random wandering clock. You can use any kind of animal that wanders around. This guy is now standing on the plate. Sometimes he lays the egg on the plate. And I was playing around like how many of these. I had 3 that seemed to be too often. I need the right number, right? So you got to play around with it. But then because of the egg problem where they will drop eggs on things, right, so he stands on there, that lights up that redstone, the observers see it. It happens in all of these. It'll send a signal, booply dooply doo, and it'll cause the bone meal to happen over there. So there's another type of clock, a sugarcane clock. So I have both of these set up. When this gets tall enough, right, it's going to see that, and yes, it's going to do what your normal sugarcane clocks do, or your sugarcane farms do, so it's also a farm, but it's also going to grab that signal, send it down to the bone meal station. So between those 2 types of clocks, I get what I believe to be a pretty optimal amount of production out of this guy. Oh, there's so much stuff. What I don't have is I don't have it blocked off very well, apparently. And of course, right now this is all going to bone meal. Here, let's grab some of this bone meal. You know how these are. They're really bone meal farms. So you need something else, but you gotta keep it full. There you go. Yes, this started with less than a couple stacks of bone meal, and now it has produced all of that. And while I'm at it, just because sometimes I don't know if I'm going to need all of that. So these farms are great. But the clock was interesting, right? So you can have either a bunch of chickens. The problem, of course, with chickens is that they lay that egg, and that egg will mess up your clock patterns. Maybe, actually, I don't know, because that would only be true for a wooden plate, maybe not a stone plate. Someone should go research that and get back with me, let me know. Maybe this one's actually pretty robust against the egg laying problem. Still, it's random, and that's fine, but it's random with an average time of chicken movement to average use of chicken movement. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about our next type. So we talked about the repeater clocks, as you've seen. We talked about wandering animal clocks. Hold on. So now, let's take a nap. The next type of clock is So this is the clock behind me, though, using the animals. I mean, I'm not the first to think of it. However, I find it super useful. I don't know if anybody besides me uses it so much in other farms to help determine when other farms trigger. But the other types of clocks I'm going to show you are not my design. I will try to give credit where credit is due, put some links in the description so that you know who's doing what. I want to go now to my Etho Hopper clock. Oh yeah, you heard me. Let's go take a look at that. Over here in my creeper farm, I use an Etho Hopper clock that controls how often the different platforms are washed away of their creepers. Now, I really don't want to have to break in to go in there, so I'm going to be a little cheaty. So hold on. Okay, so as you see at the bottom there, I have turned it into spectator mode. Okay, I feel like I have to whisper because it's so dark, but I don't really have to whisper. But your Etho Hopper clock, if you really want to know how to make one, go to the YouTubes, type in Etho Hopper clock, and you will find the things. But in a general sense, you have items in one hopper that are all being fed to the other hopper because there's a block. The red block there is keeping them all in there. But eventually, what's going to happen is it's going to be done. It's going to flip the flippy. It's going to send a signal, and it's going to push this block to the other side. Now, all of the blocks will flow back into the other hopper. So the clock can last for however long it takes 5 full stacks to get from one side to the other, which is about 5 minutes if you fill it completely up-ish. I don't know if it's exactly 5 minutes, but it's 5 minutes-ish. I felt 5 minutes was good enough time here because all this is doing, this observer is going to, have this bucket of water come out and wash away all the creepers, and I have 3 floors of that. Apparently they're not in sync, but that's fine. It shouldn't matter for the creeper farm. We have a creeper. Maybe my farm has a problem. A creeper can be stuck right there. Interesting. Okay, I fix this later. This is good to know. All right, well, let me get back out of here. I'm back in survival. Back in survival. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, actually, hold on. While we're here, I'm going to take a little bit of a break and go look at our shrine. Sometimes the different characters on this server, we die and we don't make it. And so we put a candle for every death. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at my statistics. Number of player deaths, 29. Okay. 29. Those are both 2s, 10 and 10, plus 5, plus 4, 1. So it's accurate. There's me, 29 deaths. Okay, that's enough of that. Now the other type of clocks, I don't have an active example on the server. I don't use them, but I want to talk about them. I want to talk about where you can learn more about them. Yes, now it looks like that I'm back home. I am home, and you can see in my hotbar here, one of the clocks, well, 2 of the different types of clocks actually use dropping items. One, you drop the item into a web, so the dispenser is above the web. It drops the item, or the dropper, I guess would make more sense. It drops through, and below it, there's a pressure plate. When the item then lands on the pressure plate, or when the item lands in a hopper and you have a comparator attached to the hopper, then it sends the signal. And maybe that's the amount of time you need. So let's kind of play with that and kind of see what kind of times we get for that. So I'm going to quickly work up what this might look like. Okay, so you need on the bottom a pressure plate. I has no pressure plate. No, I don't. I'm not going to use pressure plate. I'm going to use hopper because I have hoppers. And I'm going to look at that, comparatorize it, give it some signal, and make it light. Just watch the signal. So let's see. I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this here. Okay. And I'm going to put this here. Oh, that sounds good. And then the dropper, I forget, do I point it? It faces me when I put it down. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to do this. What I want to do is I want to do don't want to do that. It needs an item, a bed. And then it needs a comparator. And the comparator, you walk the way you want it to flow. Okay, so we see if this lights up. So we put a little duty bop in there. Oh, it needs a signal. Okay. I need a signalinator. And you see. Oh. Okay. This is not good. Let's try it again. Okay, let's go up one. Maybe it has to actually. Maybe it has to actually come like farther up. I don't know. Let's figure this out. Bed, 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 bed. All right. Okay, let me eat some food. That's not food. All right, let's give this a go. Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm figuring this out. I thought I knew this. Apparently, I did not know this. Okay, so now what it's going to do, okay, what I'm thinking is the hopper is sucking up anything that's within this block before it has a chance to register that it's in the web. Maybe now it'll go through the web, and then as soon as it gets out of the bottom of the web, this thing sucks it up. I don't know. Let's find out. Oh, yeah. See, there it goes. We'll look at the clock, and we'll time this, and I'll put something on the screen later. Yeah, but it's taking a while. Looks like it's going to take maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds, 45 seconds. We'll see. So that took a little bit of time. Maybe that's the right amount of time for whatever you're doing. It falls slowly through there, whatever that was, 40 some odd seconds. Like I said, we'll take a look at it later. That's pretty cool. That's kind of still fast for a lot of farms. Like if, that would be too fast for the moss farm. That would be too fast for, say, a honey farm. But still, it's pretty cool. All right, I'm actually going to leave this here because that'll remind me how cool that is. All right, so we talked about, I think there's one more farm, or one more clock, and that is the clock that does require a plate. And you put the plate down, and you have the dispenser, no web, and the item just then lands onto the plate. And because it's a wooden plate, it will send a signal for as long as that item is on the plate. This is a timer that you saw B-Dubs use in one of his Hermitcraft videos. So where can you learn more about these farms? Like I said, they're not all mine. Do the Googles for Etho Hopper Clock for the Hopper Clock farm. And there's other variants of Hopper clocks. So maybe, I think the Etho one is the smallest footprint. But maybe for other reasons you might need one of the other ones. Those are some interesting ones, and you can get times up to 5 minutes. But since you can put 4.5 stacks, 4 3/4 stacks, you can really dial in the number of seconds that you want very carefully. This clock here that's in front of me, it's going to be whatever it is, like close to a minute, and that's just going to be it. There's no dialing this around. I suppose you could have it fall through more of the webs, maybe have 4 or 5, and you can double it. But if you needed a half a web, right, that doesn't work. You can't have that. So it's still useful, but maybe just the one web isn't what you need. One that I have seen used is the B-Dubs have it land on a pressure plate clock. I'm not going to build one of those, but just bear with me for a second. Let's pretend over here, like B-Dubs does, he breeds up his horses, and he wanted a signal to light up when the horses were ready to breed. He needed a 5-minute clock. Well, he had a dispenser that pooped out an item that landed on a pressure plate. And when that item despawned 5 minutes later, then the light would go on and it would say, hey, your horses are ready to breed again, because that's the breeding interval for the horses. And so that worked out really well for him. Now, you lose the item, so you want to dispense an item that is garbage for you, something that maybe another farm is overproducing. But then, every time he left the farming thing, he pressed the button, which, dispensed another one. He would go around, build. He'd look over and be like, oh, well, my light's on. He would fly in and he would breed up his horses and turn it again. I do have one more instantiation of a farm clock running a farm, and I wanted to show it to you, and that is, you can see it there in the background. How often should you farm your honey? Because, if it's too many seconds, they're all there, maybe you could have gotten some more out of it. If it's too few, then you end up wasting bottles, and they just come out empty instead of coming out full and awesome sauce. I found that having a single clock, let me break in here so you can see it in all of its glory. Da-da, that's it, and then the observer's right there. Just one. I could have had two in a row, maybe another piston, another observer, another, whatever these things are called. What is this called? This is not sugarcane. Bamboo, another bamboo right here. So that would be faster, right? Because now one of them, they'll grow at different speeds randomly, but one's going to maybe randomly be faster than the other. I found that just the one is fine. This isn't very efficient. I lose a lot of bamboo. It'll land here instead of in the hopper. But this clock isn't about the hopper. This clock is about the honey. I guess we can just sit here and watch bamboo grow. But when the bamboo grows, let's close that up. That's when the honey will collect. And I found that was a pretty good measurement. So I'm pretty happy with this clock. This is what I look like when I'm waiting for bamboo to grow. Hi, bees. Oh, there it goes. Boom, yeah. Strangely enough, one of them is already ready to go again. Oh, that can't be good. I have a problem. Okay, I fix that later. I probably out of bottles. No, that's not very many. I don't know why. I'll go fix it. Maybe I'm out of shears. They all broke. But anyways, I wanted to talk about different types of clocks and different types of timing mechanisms. I hope you enjoyed this content. I know this is a short one, but I just wanted to quickly go over a whole variety of clocks, and I'll put the links in the description so that you can go learn more about each of those as you want. I appreciate it. I'm not waiting for me to blink because this is Java, and waiting for me to blink would make no sense unless they added it. Oh, wait. Let's wait. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to wait. I know it's not going to happen. All right, this is Errmal signing out. Later, guys.